I've been excited for Frozen 2 for a while, but I am becoming increasingly worried about it. Maleficent, Mistress of Evil is yet another Disney live-action adaptation that no one asked for and yet everyone is still going to see. Angelina Jolie returns as Maleficent, who is still shunned by the kingdom because they are unaware that she was the one who broke the curse that she herself cast on Aurora. Even Aurora turns on her godmother figure when she sees her cast a similar spell on Prince Philip's father in her rage. Philip's mother, the Queen, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, declares war on Maleficent and all members of her kind. The first Maleficent was not completely terrible, but I was still no fan. Even though Angelina Jolie was the ideal choice to play Maleficent, making her a misunderstood antagonist who becomes the hero of the Sleeping Beauty story is something that I could have lived my life happily without seeing. There are some villains that we love because they're so delightfully vicious. So when it appeared from the marketing for this sequel that Maleficent was going to turn evil once more, you might have started to think that this movie was going to right some wrongs, and we'll get more of what made us love Maleficent as a villain to begin with. Nope, this is basically the same story again. Maleficent is misunderstood, she appears to put a spell on someone out of revenge, she has to set things right, the end. Mild spoiler, despite how things appear at first, she never actually orchestrates anything really diabolical. In fact, it's primarily the rest of her species, the Dark Fae, who plan the attack against the humans. So ultimately, her title and the movie's title, Mistress of Evil, is not even relevant to what happens in the movie. They do try to introduce a new element with Maleficent finding more of her species, but it does zero with that. She has such a nothing connection with them that when one of them pulls off a selfless heroic act for her, it does not feel earned in the slightest, and just comes off very forced. The acting in this movie ranges from just adequate, say Angelina Jolie, who doesn't have much to work with this time, to unbelievably stiff. There's this henchwoman of the Queen's, played by an actress named Jen Murray, and oh wow is she bad! I cannot fathom how the director saw this abysmally flat performance and it didn't cross his mind that they might want to do the take again and have her give it a little bit more. Visually, this movie is overall unpleasant. Despite some elaborate makeup on the actors who play the members of the Dark Fae, the CGI is more consistently terrible than the first movie. There's this, what I can only describe as a porcupine fairy, and its appearance, well, think the initial design of Sonic the Hedgehog but brown. The three fairies who attempted to look after Aurora in the first movie, they're still bumbling idiots, and they're still uncanny valley disturbing. Why is there any CGI on the actresses' faces? Why can't they just be made to appear small? This was an effect that Alice in Wonderland did well, why couldn't this? It was a problem with the first movie that the sequel didn't bother fixing. Out of all the live-action Disney remakes and their sequels, The Lion King is still the worst, but this comes close because it's the most cynical out of all of them. As the first movie opened with the narrator telling us, you think you know the story of Sleeping Beauty, but you don't. This one opens with her telling us that in all the land, the word has spread that Maleficent was always the bad guy and Prince Philip saved Aurora. And from this, the main conflict of the movie rises. Allow me to emphasize that. The tale of Sleeping Beauty, as we the audience have always known it, has become the legend, and that's a problem. Yes, this is what the movie's going with. Here Disney is, giving us the same thing over and over again with little to no variety, and they have the audacity to say that there's a problem with us preferring to pass on the original animated classics to the next generation. Am I reading too deep into it? I don't think so. I seriously believe that that connection was intentional. What makes it not even work from a narrative standpoint is that Aurora knows the truth. She knows that Maleficent was the one who saved her, so why hasn't she spoken up about it? Are we supposed to believe that she's never heard anyone in the kingdom talking about it? And if she has she never bothered to say, actually this is what happened, Maleficent is my hero? From the get-go, the story doesn't make sense. There is a relatively cool battle scene towards the end, but it's not nearly enough to make up for the tedium and cynicism that populates the rest of the movie. The movie closes out with a song that repeats the lyric, "The truth will set you free." That's a concept that Disney should really take to heart. Because the truth is, the original animations are going to remain the legend, and Disney this day and age is not going to have a legacy worth remembering when all they crank out are these lifeless reimaginings and lazy reenactments. This movie is just another nail in Disney's coffin, and I cast a 23% on Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. That's a wrap. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this review helpful. Like and share, subscribe for more. This is Pop Culture. I'm Alex Pop.